I don't even know why. I've always been very open book. Like, I feel like any random person could ask me some question and I would like spill everything.
Were you not scared at all of like him seeing it and his like, friends? Like, what are the repercussions of like doing this?
The repercussions. To be honest, I feel like when somebody does you that wrong, it's like you don't even care anymore. Being alone is such a scary thought when you're young and all you've been is with other people. You know what I mean? It's just like the idea of doing things on your own is like so scary.
Hi, this is Lauren Engel. Today I'm here with LENNON STELLA.
Hello.
So you're born in, how do you say it, Oshawa or?
Oshawa.
Oshawa.
Oshawa, yes.
And
yes.
Were your parents originally born there as well, or?
My dad was born in Whitby, which is like 30 minutes out of Oshawa, and then my mom was born in Oshawa, and then Maisy and I were both born in Oshawa as well.
And all the rest of your extended families there, or?
Yep, yeah, they're all there. They're
Wow.
in between there and Whitby, yeah.
And it was kind of like a farm that you grew up in, or how would you describe it? Or the surrounding areas?
Yeah, where I actually like grew up was in Claremont, which is again like a little bit outside of Oshawa, but yeah, that was like farmland for sure. It was like big farm, yeah.
And you didn't have any internet or growing up?
No internet or TV. We had actual television to watch movies on, but we didn't have like cable, or it was definitely like a secluded little life that we had, but it was nice because we just like made music and that's kind of all we knew. It was like very creative because we didn't have those like easy access to like, you know, TV or anything like that, so.
And from the onset, your parents are musicians?
Yeah, my parents, they're amazing musicians. They were a duo for a while.
What's their name? Do they have stuff out?
Yeah, they're called the Stellas. Yeah.
How would you describe that type of music that they were making?
It was kind of like Americana, like it was in the country market, so kind of like old country Americana vibe.
And growing up, you also had like a lot of picnics, right? Was it like your Aunt Tracy who made like the shepherd's pie?
Oh my god, wow, that's so funny. I said that in another interview. Yes. My Aunt Shepherd's pie is my favorite. Yeah, it was like it's so different like than it is now. Like we were always just outside, and it was like that was kind of all we knew. And then going to Nashville, it was very just change of pace, like, but not in a bad way necessarily. But when I think back to like where I'm from, it's like always outside, like very like super just like simple living, you know, which I guess is probably like that for most people. That's what happens.
How did you find your own music early on?
Honestly, it always just kind of was because my parents were like so musical, and me and my sister were so musical. We never listened to the radio actually. My parents were like, I honestly only listened to like what my parents played around the house, which was like, what did we listen to? Like Fleetwood Mac. My mom was obsessed with Fleetwood Mac. Bread, I love Bread. It was a lot of 70s stuff my parents loved.
Well, how did you find Robin then?
Robin?
Yeah.
Because somebody actually did this, Arado is there's like 3 girls and they did that cup song, and we saw that video of them doing that, and then we did it like that they did that before us.
Yeah.
So we saw it like that song for them. We didn't like know that song before that, but no, we definitely like that was when we moved to Nashville. We definitely were into that kind of music as well too, like 100%. Love like pop music as well.
How else would you describe your personality back then growing up?
Personality, very like free spirited, very like carefree, you know, like that's kind of how it is when you're young. You just go with the flow, you know.
What kind of career path did you think you would have early on? Did you know like for sure you'd be in music some way or another? Yeah,
I totally I knew that music was gonna be the thing for me. I honestly didn't think that acting was gonna be a part of my life until it was, and then I was like, okay, yeah, I can totally get down with this. But it was, yeah, always music was what I thought was going to be it for me. That's kind of always what I imagined.
How would you describe your parents' personalities, and who are you more similar to?
Oh my gosh, it's like split right down the middle. I'm super like type A personality, where I'm very like organized. Like I like things to be super planned out. Like if I'm like going with the flow, I like have to like make a decision to go with the flow because I'm so like I have to plan to go with the flow. So that's like my dad. But then my mom is very like, I don't know, I feel like I'm more like my mom, like as far as like just me as a human, but like different personality traits about me, I feel like are very similar to my dad, like very anal about little tiny details and stuff.
And was it difficult for you to transition into being homeschooled?
Not really, to be honest. Yeah, I feel like homeschooling was kind of more where I belong than was in public school.
Why do you think that is?
I just never really got like a lot out of public school, to be honest. Like I don't know, by the time I started the TV show, like I was only going a couple days a week, and if that, honestly, and I only was going for like a social aspect, and I like wasn't getting that because I didn't enjoy the people I was with at school. So I don't know, I feel like I'm more like, I liked more being alone and like doing school with my tutor who I loved and my sister, you know. I just wasn't very like, I didn't love the idea of like public school.
What did you learn from being on the show?
Well, oh my gosh, so much. It was like 6 years, so it was just such a long time of learning and like figuring myself out over that period, because I was like 12 to 18. I'm trying to think. I learned so much. I feel like I really like learned how to like be comfortable with like, how do I say this? Like it's okay to like look stupid sometimes. You know, when you just have to like go for it, and like maybe it's not like the right move, but like with acting and like being on camera and like playing a role of somebody else, you have to be so like comfortable with like maybe looking stupid or like making a wrong move or whatever. But like just having that, like, it's just, I'm trying to take it into the music, into my like music world as well, and just like be like, it's cool if you like mess up, you know what I mean? Like it's fine, you just keep going. And I feel like I was so like such a perfectionist, and I still am, but like it was so scary to me, like look stupid, or like, I don't know how to explain that, but I feel like on the show you just have to like go for it and like not care that you may look stupid, you know what I mean? Yeah.
At one point, were your parents nervous of you getting in a career of music, because it was like difficult, like the struggles?
100%. Like my parents, like, I mean, literally my mom was always just like, are you sure you don't want to be a teacher? Like, are you sure, you know, this is what you want to do? Yeah, it was definitely like, yeah, because they lived their whole lives kind of being like struggling musicians, and that's a hard path. It's really hard for a lot of people. So yeah, they definitely were hesitant.
What do you think was the turning point that they became more and more open to the idea?
I think it honestly has happened like freakishly natural. Like it just happens, so everything is just perfectly like come into our lives and like in such a way that's so natural that there's like no way to deny that it's meant to be. You know what I mean? Like you, at a certain point they're just going to be like, okay, clearly this is what's supposed to be happening, because the universe is like setting it up so perfectly that like it wouldn't make sense for them to be like, oh, I don't want you to be in this, in, you know, making music or whatever. Like there's just no way, because it just happens so organically that I think all of us were just like allowing it to just go and happen because it was so meant to be, obviously, you know.
And how was it originally? Like, were they helping? Were your parents managing you, like, or like giving you like career advice?
Yeah, totally. Like my mom co-managed for a long time, and then just kind of when I started getting more into like my own music stuff, she now is just like the mother support, which is so nice, and she's like literally the best, and all the advice I get is literally from her, just as a human, because she's been through it and knows the music world well. So same with my dad, 100%.
Did you have other mentors early on who are helping you with music?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's honestly a ton. That Ingrid Michaelson is a big one for me. We've known her since I was like 7.
Oh, how did you? Was through your parents, or?
Yeah, my dad wrote with her, and then my dad like took her home to meet my mom, because I knew that they would be best friends. He knew that they'd be best friends, and she came and stayed with us at our house, like at this farm in the middle of nowhere when I was like 7. And we just like fell in love with her. So she's a massive mentor to me, and always has been, like super supportive, but more like just like giving me like tips and guidance on how to like do it, you know. And like stay true to yourself. And yeah, there's like a bunch of different people. Erin McCarley's a big one for me too. She's an amazing artist.
And did your dad teach you early on about songwriting or how it works?
Yeah, both my parents were like, definitely. It wasn't even like they taught us. I think just because they like always were, that's all we saw them do, that like we just kind of like, you grow so accustomed to it, just like that's all you see every day, that like we just kind of learned how to. Like there was never like a period where they like taught us necessarily, but we just kind of learned from them 100%.
And how did you pick up the instruments, like piano, ukulele, guitar?
Guitar I got when I was 5, and I like told my dad that I wanted to learn, and they got me one for Christmas, so that was like a decision. And then my dad taught me how to play guitar. Piano, same thing, just like we always had a piano in the house, and then like over time like they just kind of taught me as we were going. And then on the show, like because I'd be playing different songs on the show, like we would have to learn the guitar parts and the piano, so I feel like I picked up a lot from the show, from learning the songs that we were performing on the show.
So right after the show, did it click to you that you just didn't want to do acting anymore? That was your sister's thing?
Not really. I mean, I do still want to do acting, because I'm like, in the future, like I would love to do movies, and I think right now, at this point in my life, like the show was like so perfect for those 6 years, and then now it's like the perfect opportunity to move and grow and figure out what I want to do in music, and just see what happens when I like am able to like put my full energy towards it, you know what I mean, and just kind of like really like dive into that music world and see like what happens when I do that, because I have been on the show for so long and I haven't really been able to give the music stuff my all, you know.
And through the show you actually wrote like 8 songs for it, right? So you already had experience. Were those with like sessions with writers, or how did those come?
Yeah, those are all like co-writing sessions, usually like me, another writer, and the producer.
So you're already open to being vulnerable in sessions at such a young age, or were you not really like showing everything you're going through the lyrics?
Honestly, I feel like because my parents I don't even know why, I've always been very like, I'm a very open book. Like I feel like any random person could ask me some question and I would like spill everything. I'm like so open. It's probably a blessing and a curse, but I definitely like wear my heart on my sleeve, so there's no like, I don't struggle as far as like pouring all the stuff out there. Like it's never been hard for me to kind of be vulnerable, which is probably not the best thing all the time, but yeah.
And then how long after until you started, were you shopping around labels, or how did it work with the signing?
Yeah, we were shopping around for a while, and it just, records like is such an awesome, like they're just so attentive with like the people, because it's a smaller like label, that they're able to really like devote so much time to each artist. But then also they are now under Columbia, so then we have like Columbia, so that it ended up working so perfectly, and it's such like a amazing group of people, as well as like people who know what they're doing, like professional people, you know what I mean? So it's like a really great group. Yeah.
Did you already have your EP or singles out? I mean, to show them?
No, no. I mean, there was, I'm trying to think. I don't think any of the songs from the EP I had written before them. No. Yeah, I wrote them all since like after signing with them, and then we just like did a bunch of writing.
Actually, were you nervous about that because you didn't have stuff out? Like you didn't. But I guess it has to do with their vision, right? Because sometimes with like new 100%. Artists, it's difficult with that stuff.
Yeah, because then if you like, they don't know what the sound is, and then you get there, and then they try and like inform you. No, 100%. Like that was a serious fear of mine. I think because I had written so much stuff that I loved and that I also knew was me, and like the stuff, there's multiple songs that I've written before that like will be on the album before I signed with them. Like, so there was a pretty clear vision when they signed me, and I think that they kind of trusted that, and like, yeah, but that wasn't definitely a concern. Like, it was just a worry that I was scared that was going to happen, but luckily it did not happen.
And how did you meet Liam Payne and Jonas Blue?
I met them to do that song. I had written with Romans, who co-wrote the song, and I think that's how my name kind of got put in to sing on it, and then I got asked to do it, and I went and had the vocals with Liam and Jonas, and we just it's been so fun.
And I also want to know about your sessions with Emily Warren and Sasha Sloan, because I interviewed both of them, and they're amazing. Yeah, they're amazing.
Literally amazing girls, women. But they're both amazing. I love them so much. Emily is like my favorite writer in the history of writers. She's literally my favorite.
She's so
like
talented.
I seriously, like, everybody who knows in my life, like, I love everyone I write with, but like Emily, I'm like, please can I just write with her every single day, but like I just love her so much. And Sasha I've only written with one time, but I'm hoping that we get back in more times. But I love her music so much. She's so amazing. What
are your thoughts behind, like, because the song that you put out about the guy that you were seeing and who actually had a 6-year
yes.
like
yep.
Were you not scared at all of like him seeing it and his like, friends? Like, what are the repercussions of like doing this?
The repercussions. To be honest, I feel like when somebody does you that wrong, it's like you don't even care anymore. Like I actually don't care. Like that's the thing is like if it was like I've had it before. Okay, like for instance, La Di Da, like I got in a fight with somebody, but then like we're totally cool now, and so like I feel more worried about those repercussions because I'm like that was at a point where we weren't cool, but we are now, so it's kind of awkward. You know what I mean? But with bad, it's like we never mended. Like it just like ended. Like so I'm like you know what I mean? Like I'm not worried with the repercussions because I'm like he deserves all of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What if moving forwards with like relationships and stuff, do you think you would share a lot, or how would that? Because you're such an open person, but then you know that they're gonna listen to it.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I'm not kidding you. Like any random person on the street could ask me any question, and I would tell them any. Like I'm so like no, the whole world can know. My only thing with writing about true things like that, like I just want to be respectful of the other person, like in their life as well, and like I wouldn't go and tell the world who that song is about because I don't want him to like his life to be over. You know what I mean? Like people like disliking him and without getting to know him, I don't think that's cool either. So like I definitely want to be considerate of like sharing the details and like as far as like writing songs about somebody else. And for me, I'm so open, like I legit would tell anybody, but I know not everyone's like that, so I need to like be considerate of the other person as well.
What are your inspirations for your music videos? Because I feel like there's a distinct style.
Oh, thank you. My gosh, I'm a very visual person. I really like things to be aesthetically pleasing, which I'm sure a lot of people do, but it's been, like an obsession of mine. I love the way things look, but I don't really know as far as inspiration. I kind of like pull from so many different places. I love like pastel-y colors, like Wes Anderson is like obviously the dream, everyone loves him, but that kind of vibe is like where I'm super inspired by. A lot of just kind of eerie, some like interesting colors and muted stuff, but I don't know, there's not like a specific inspiration. I guess Wes Anderson.
Can you talk about your fear of being alone? Because I think that's an interesting fear, or how you were able to overcome it.
Yeah. Honestly, I've always just been so like, just like the comfort of being around people, and it's just being alone is such a scary thought when you're young and all you've been is with other people. You know what I mean? It's like the idea of doing things on your own is like so scary. But I think after I did like move out and I was kind of forced to be on my own in a way, which I forced myself to, I have like a whole new appreciation for it. And honestly, like when I go however long without being alone, I'm like, now it's like my favorite thing is like my own solitude. It's very weird, but it completely shifted, and it's now like my way of recharging is being alone.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's like so important for me to have that.
Would you say you went from more of an extrovert to a bit of more 100%,
100%. Because I saw this thing and I was like, I feel super extroverted as far as like just how I am, but then I saw this thing and it was like the way you recharge like determines if you're introvert and extrovert. It's like, do you recharge by like other people, like or like with other people, or do you recharge, like do you feel more recharged when you're by yourself? And I was like 100% when I'm alone is when I like my battery is fully recharged, and then I go back into the world and I'm like, okay, cool, but I did not, with people is not where I recharge. So
do you think that affected your songwriting for like the time when you were more extroverted to introverted? Yeah,
100%. I think that it like completely shifts the way of thinking, and it definitely affected my writing.
How would you say the style of your music has changed compared to the early songs you made, or the lyrics?
I think the lyrics have changed because I've gotten comfortable with, like, I've always been, like, open, but it's different when you're, like, trying to figure out and, like, word what you want to say, you know what I mean? And that becomes easier, like, over time, and learning from other writers and, like, how they actually put their feelings into words, and just, like, discovering that, because it's a hard thing to do when you don't know how to do it, you know? So I think over time I kind of learned how to do that. So the lyrics in my writing has changed since I started writing. But I think the style and, like, what I love has stayed the same, honestly.
How would you say you've grown as a person compared to when you were younger?
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I feel like this sounds so weird, but I, like, do feel like I'm, like, the same person since I was little. But I think over time I've, like, I feel like I've grown in the sense where I am more understanding of other people. And, like, my parents are, like, the most, like, non-judgmental people on the face of the earth. So I think I've always had that in me, because that's, like, what they drilled in my head since I was so little. It's just, like, have zero judgment. But over time I've learned to, like, be more understanding of, like, where things are rooted from, and, like, if something's happening, I just feel like being understanding of, like, where it's coming from, and, like, the actual root of, like, it's probably insecurity, they're probably whatever, like, finding the root of it is, like, makes everything so much better, because then you have no like, I have never anger inside of me, because I'm just, like, I know where that rooted from, and, like, I'm not gonna take that personally, you know?
Yeah. What would you say have been your biggest challenges so far in your life?
Oh man, I think the big challenge for me, like, a lot of stuff happened, like, with my family, and just, like, learning that, like, not everything that you, like, have in your brain, I'm so, like, I have something in my head and then I can't get it out if it's, like, looks a certain way and I want it to look that way or feel a certain way, or, like, I want to leave the house at 5 o'clock, I have to leave at 5 o'clock, I just have that, like, something in my head and I, like, stick with it. So it's hard for me to, like, realize that, like, something you have in your head, like, married parents and a sister, you know what I mean? It's, like, that perfect thing is, like, maybe if it's not that exact thing that you have in your mind, doesn't make it any less perfect, it's just, like, different than what you had in your mind, you know? I think over time I'm just learning that, like, it's okay to, like, not have everything be exactly, and just, like, you need to learn to, like, go with the flow a little bit.
That's what I'm learning too. I'm, like, too, like, caught up in, like, this has to be this way.
Yeah,
and,
like, me too. It's like, and it's, like, learning that, like, there's different ways to get to, like, I saw, what did I see on like, Pinterest? It was, like, 2 + 2 = 4, 3 + 1 also equals 4. Like, they both equal 4, so it's okay to, like, have a different way of getting to the same number. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's how I'm feeling myself growing currently.
What does love mean to you?
I think, oh my gosh, love is firstly everything to me. I'm such a hopeless romantic. I feel like love is just literally everything. That's, like, the point of life, I think. But loyalty and, like, honesty and just completely being 100% comfortable with yourself and, like, zero judgment and, like, just openness, I think, is the biggest thing. I mean, love is literally everything, though. It's no way to put it into words.
Last question. What do you want to be remembered for?
Man, that's such a heavy question. I think I ultimately want to just be remembered for who I am as a human. Like, my actual heart, I think, is the thing that I would most, like, want, like, the legacy to be over, like, the music or anything even. Honestly, just, like, my heart, you know?
Yeah, I love that. This was so much fun. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.